Hey everyone, it's Orange. Welcome to Guild Wars Rush. I have two guild battles to show you guys today. The first one is against ElegyX and the second one is against NinjaMoves. So these are the two guilds that we pulled when we rushed this past weekend. We did a 2-sword rush and we finished Guardian 3 rank 18. So I'm going to give you guys some commentary as usual and I hope you guys enjoy it. I believe we did do a 3-sword rush a couple weeks ago, but generally we do 2-sword rushes. The last sword we have 45 minutes to do, and then the second to last sword I think was started 2 hours before Guild Wars closed, just to give you guys a time frame, because I know there's a lot of guilds out there that rush. Some do 6 swords, some do 2 swords, and there's all different variations of rushing that happens in Guild Wars. And every guild uses their swords at different times, so this is what's been working for us to achieve Guardian 3. Here is the first fight. The first round I'm going to be bringing my standard Huadam, Chasun, Theomars team. I know the Orion is going to have a lot of debuffs he's going to put on me, but I hope that I'll be able to eventually move in between it. I have Violent on Theomars and Violent on Chasun, so I'm hoping he just doesn't constantly stun me, and he will be going for the AoE defense break as we saw right there, so the enemy AI is not perfect, which is going to help me. So I'm totally okay with bringing a team that doesn't have any sort of cleanses or immunity or anything like that. I'm going to be landing the attack debuff and the glancing hit on Theomars, and I went for Theo there at the beginning, but I wasn't able to pop him. So I switched off to Orion, and this Orion was very squishy. He must be one of those fast ones. Finally, I pop Theomars' passive, and as you guys can see, I'm getting debuffed a lot, so I'm just hoping that Huadam hangs in there and that he can heal, but I have a dot on me, and if you guys don't know, if a dot kills you, Huadam's passive will not trigger, so Chasun might die here, but let's see what happens. So thankfully Theomars to the rescue. She might have survived with a hair of health, but he kind of helped her out, and since he hit her and killed her, Huadam transferred some health over. I'm stuck at a crossroads right now debating who do I kill, Orion or Theo, because if you look at Khmun's attack bar, he's going to put a shield on something, and my Chasun's going to move before Khmun though, so I'm going to have 2 monsters that move, so I should be fine, but in the heat of the moment, I didn't really realize that, so I was very relieved to see that my Chasun moved and killed the, whatever she killed. I killed Orion and Theo basically at the same time. So now it's down to a 2v1, but I have no health, so I really need to land this defense break on Khmun, and thankfully I do. So I'm just hoping that I can 1v1 him, and he gains his shield, and then he pops my passive, so this is pretty much it. And I didn't kill him there, that's insane, but the Violent proc saves the day. I think I got 2 Violent procs on my Theo there towards the end to win that match, so that was very, very lucky on my part. I would have lost had I not gotten that lucky. Okay, here is the second team. I'm going to basically be bruisering it, and then they have no form of debuff removal, so my Orion's gonna have a heyday here, harmless pranking everything. And against Rakan's, Harmless Prank is kind of weak because I may not remove the immunity. Orion's Harmless Prank will go for one of Rakan's buffs to remove, and then if Orion doesn't remove the immunity, he has a good chance to keep stacking debuffs on top of that immunity, but the Rakan won't get debuffed because he's immune. So I've been noticing it's like not great odds to bring Orion against teams with Rakan, but I still do it because I feel like the odds are good enough to still do it. So I'm going to kill the monkey there first because he's the easiest target for me to kill because my Ratesh is the main damage dealer on my team, and then Villagewell has some support damage, and thankfully that monkey was a very squishy monkey. I believe since he was so squishy, he probably was built to do a lot of damage. I've seen that sometimes. I've seen some Wind Monkey Kings that just do insane damage, but they're very squishy. Definitely they're not built like the typical Wind Monkey King who's built a bit tankier. So I kill him, and then I'm gonna go for Perna. I'm gonna have to kill Perna twice here, but it should be okay. Perna's gonna be pretty squishy. And I'm just going to avoid the Rakan because I can't defense break him because most of the time he's gonna have immunity and he'll revenge me. So Perna's going to go ahead and fall, and then it's just down to Rakan here. So even in Guild Wars like this, I have to be very safe. I'm getting an incoming message, so gotta block that out. Even in fights like this where it's just down to one monster, I've been playing it really safe because I don't want to make any foolish mistakes and lose any of my good monsters like Ritesh or anything like that. It'd be pretty devastating to make a stupid mistake like that. So I'm going to play it out safely and then just finish up Rakan here, and then we'll move on to the next fight. So there we go, the first sword is done. And let's see, who am I going for? It looks like I'm one of the first ones to hit, so I'm going to go probably for a 1, 2, 3 here. That looks like exactly what I'm going to do. This fight might take a little while for me to identify what teams I'm going to use, so I might have to skip ahead a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. It looks like I'm going to be copper bulldozering the second round, but do I actually follow up with that? I think single copper would be amazing against the second round, and I really want to build my Delphoy. I'm actually building her this weekend to use for single copper teams. I think we'll see a really good example in here where Delphoy would be much better than Ritesh. I think it's a fight where I use Ritesh, copper, and Messity, and that's just kind of a temporary fix just to throw in a healer there to help me sustain a little bit. So I'm going to be bringing immunity against the Bastet, and as we can see right there, it's super effective. Why did I wanted to say effectful, that makes no sense. So gonna go for Theomars because he's very squishy and I should be able to kill him fairly quickly. Gonna go ahead and get his passive right now. No crazy violent procs happening from the other team. Theomars is going to die right there. And then I tried to get a defense break with my Ritesh's AoE on the enemies, but it did not quite happen. So now we just pretty much have 2 supports with no damage against my team. So there's no chance that the enemy team will win, and I'm going to have enough damage to finish them off, but I believe I'm just going to play it out here just to get my swords done quickly. So I'm going to try to use all of the proper skills that I can. Going to try to taunt Bastet, I think that's what I'm trying to do here. Trying to get the defense break for sure. And then I believe I'm switching on to Bastet a little bit because Rukuni, she has more HP than Rukuni does. So he will cleanse himself and the debuffs are going to stick to her a little bit. And that's something that I learned last week. I read up on how Rukuni worked and I asked my guildmates and they helped me out a little bit. I think it was just one of my guildmates above us, he helped me. Check out his channel, guys. He has Guild War videos and he's much more knowledgeable than me. So I've been learning from watching his videos. I'll link his channel down below. So, just gonna finish off Rukuni here, and he told me Rukuni removes all debuffs. I thought Rukuni wasn't able to remove stuns and sleeps, but he does. So that's absolutely insane for a 3-star monster, and for any monster. Okay, so I'm debating what do I do. This Eledriel could be a trap Eledriel. He could have a lot of defense and my copper might fail to kill him, but I'm gonna risk it because he is the sole reser on the other team. And if I kill the Annabelle first, she's just gonna get rezzed and it's gonna be sort of difficult to finish out the match. So thankfully that risk paid off. And then my Bulldozer retained his will set, you guys saw at the very beginning. Annabelle went for the AoE defense break, but Bulldozer had will, so it was all good. And now I'm going to be going for, stuns here. Gonna try to stun the Khmun, stun the Annabelle, and hopefully do some damage at some point in time. I'm hoping that my skill will come back up where I can buff myself and get another clean shot, whatever it's called. I don't know what the skill's called. Copper's third skill, Thunderstrike, I believe is the word I'm looking for. Gonna go for more stuns here, more CC. So that's all. Everything's working out well. Annabelle Violent procs, which is not good because she's pretty much messing up my whole day here and cleansing the Khmun, and then he's killing me. Hold on, let me fix my headset again. This dang headset. Okay, I think I have it in an optimal position. So Annabelle moves about 100 times, and that's not good, and I'm not able to kill her because I didn't have a defense buff. So maybe I didn't crit there. No, I think I didn't have a defense buff, and I wasn't able to ignore. So I do think single coppering that one would be a good idea, unless the ElegyX is like a trap ElegyX, but I don't know what the odds of that are. So single copper there I think would be super good if you can just have some more sustain. And I think Delphoy would be good there too because she can reset Annabelle, and Annabelle won't be cleansing as much, and that should be much better. And then Khmun can't put unrecoverable on anything. So yeah, I do think that one would be pretty good to single copper. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know down below. I love to hear from you guys. I love getting your feedback and your thoughts on Summoner's War and how my videos are. So here is the final sword that I'm doing against this guild, and my Ritesh is dangerously low. If the Theomar's Violent procs there, I may have died, but I may have survived with a sliver of health, so I'm gonna go for Theomar's here first. Immunity is super good against Orion, so if I can, I bring it against him, and I've always found that it's worked very well. So I eliminate Theomar's very quickly, and then I just need to land defense breaks here pretty much, and then I'll be able to finish it out. Hopefully I can put my immunity back up and cleanse myself. Gonna be going for Theomar's with, or not Theomar's, I'm gonna be going for Orion with everything I've got. Gonna be hitting him with Veligil. I'm just gonna be punching because most of my monsters were low, and I think a lot of them had unrecoverable, and I wasn't quite sure who Ritesh would heal. I actually got a comment from someone, they were responding to someone else though, and they said that Ritesh heals himself if he's below 50% HP, and he was pretty close to that, but I didn't really want to risk him healing Theomar's, but Theomar's having unrecoverable debuff on. So I think that one was fine, plus it's the last round, so I could play a little bit risky there. Okay, this team's very interesting. I like it though. The Gemini moves first, which is pretty surprising, but the Gemini didn't do too much damage to me. Well, you know, damage or CC, which would be way more deadly. So I'm able to get my first amputation off, and then the monkey's going to be focusing Megan, which is very good, and I get my second amputation off, and then I'm able to win that round. So that was the battle against ElegyX. In a second, we will go ahead and check out NinjaMoves. One thing though, I've been finding that sometimes I can bring weird teams like that and they work out, so it's kind of fun to be able to bring a variety of things. Let's go ahead and check out the fight against NinjaMoves. Okay, here we are. The battle against NinjaMoves. The final one that we have for the week. So, I was actually hanging out in Discord with my guild, and they were all talking like strategy, and they were having fun and stuff. So, well, I mean, those two things kind of didn't relate too much, but I was just around them, and I was feeling very inspired to try to do my best this war. And I was feeling pretty confident against this guild, so I'm actually going to go for a higher ranked target first. You guys know I've been playing kind of safe and going for +1, then +2, then +3, in hopes that my battle difficulty escalates as things move along, so that I can hopefully have all my monsters ready for the last war. It is kind of risky going for a high ranked target first because they most likely are more difficult than the lower ranked targets, and I'm risking my monsters. My monsters are on the line, some of them might get sniped and I might lose some stuff. But if you think about it the reverse way, if I'm going hardest to least hardest, maybe I can use some sort of unconventional things in the easier fights, but I still think it's better to go lower to higher. So, I'm going to try to do my best though. My guildmates were inspiring me. I had the will of fire in me, so I'm actually going to go for above a +6 if I can, depending on how the first fight goes. And I'm going to try to hit the hardest targets that I can in hopes that that relieves some of the burden on my guildmates and that they're able to hit easier targets if necessary. So we're going to go ahead and pick the first team here. Let's see, is this the one where Delphoy would be good? Maybe. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, that'd be pretty good here because the monkey's defense break and the Rakan's taunt are very deadly. So I'm going to be single coppering this one, definitely a risk I'm taking, and let's see how it goes. So I'm going to boost up copper and then take out Praha first. It's very standard to take her out first, and she should die, which she does. And then this is where Delphoy would really work nicely to put the immunity up so I don't get stunned or defense broken or taunted, but I'm going to roll with my boy Ritesh here. So he's going to go ahead and heal up my copper, and my copper is holding on to dear life. Gonna go ahead and keep pushing the monkey back. I'm not going to use my AoE with my Amesity or Ritesh, I don't think. Yeah, don't do it. Because if I do, I can get taunted, and that's going to be no good because I definitely need to put my defense back up as soon as it comes back up, which I do right now, and I also need to heal. So those two things happened, and my copper barely survived. So I do feel bad for this guy because he was so close to killing me. If he had a couple more tower upgrades, or if he got a better damage roll, maybe he just got a very, very low damage roll, and he would have had me. But he didn't, so I definitely need to play it safe here towards the end, and I'm still worried that I might lose because I have 3 wind monsters. 2 of them are kinda squishy, Amesity and Copper against Rakan, and you guys know he can go crazy with these revenges, so I'm gonna try my best to use all the proper skills, and hopefully luck is on my side. Hopefully a lot of good luck is not on his side. He kind of deserves it though because of how my copper survived with barely no health left at all. And I'm able to kill the Ritesh I keep saying Ritesh! I'm able to kill the Rakan finally and finish that one out. So here we have my Theomar's Veligil Chasun team again. And then Chasun is not defense broken, so Sierra goes for Theomar's, and my Veligil was untouched basically, so he was able to cleanse and put up immunity, and then Chasun is beginning to heal my team, and I'm stabilized. So I eliminate Sierra first, just to get rid of one of those damage threats, then I'm going to go ahead and go for Orion second, while getting some damage on Perna with Veligil. Actually, I'm just going straight for Perna. Usually I don't do that, but I was thinking that Perna would be the easier target to kill over the Orion because either I hit the Orion and he looked tanky. I did hit the Perna with Veligil and the Perna took a lot of damage. My Chasun was getting low there, so I think I was actually preparing for her to die, and I knew that I needed to go for the Perna and get the Perna out of there to give myself the highest odds of winning, which might have actually been the incorrect decision. I'm not so sure though. Okay, so here we have the 1v1. I think I might still be able to win it. My Veligil actually has 70% resist. I don't know how it ended up being that high because I don't remember what happened when I built him last month. I really don't. It's crazy how it's that high and I don't remember. Maybe I built it that high to specifically hope that he holds on, that Orion does not strip him. So right now we pretty much just have a full-on RNG fest. Who is going to get the most RNG here and win? And of course, landing my dot is going to help. A 3-turn dot, I did not realize that Veligil's dot is 3 turns, but that's going to help me a lot at chunking down this Orion. So he just harmless pranked right there, so I don't need to give myself immunity. It might have helped against his defense break, but I do think it was better to go for the dot there. And then I'm finally going to go for my immunity here and hope that he doesn't proc too much. Then hopefully I can land a dot to finish him off and my Veligil wins the fight. So that was really crazy. I definitely got scared there, but I think that was a very fun fight because of how it came down to that 1v1. Very entertaining, I think. So that was the first +3 that I hit, and I've been noticing recently, I think I said this a second ago in the final fight of the fight against the war against ElegyX, that I'm finding myself bringing all of these weird teams against enemies. So I'm confident that I have enough monsters in my arsenal to hit a high-ranking target again. So I'm gonna be looking around here, not quite sure what I want to go for. And then this one looks like it might be doable. I kind of want to single copper the top team. Whenever I see Chasoons, I always just want to copper her. And maybe I'll go for Copper Bulldozer actually. We'll have to see. And then the second team looks kind of bruisery, so I think I might be able to cook up something against this guy's defense. And I think this one's going to take me a while to pick, so I might skip ahead, but we'll see. Oh, okay, so someone actually just hit that guy, and I'm gonna go for a green tower here, so let's see. Okay, I'm actually back on the same tower. I don't know why I did this because he was yellow, but maybe I was just assuming that my other guild members would hit the green ones, but I don't know. This is kind of weird to me. I don't know what my reasoning was. So I'm going to be Copper Bulldozering this team, and I'm debating right here, do I go for Varad? Well, I didn't debate that long, but I was afraid to go for Varad because I've seen some that have a lot of defense, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill Chasoon because I felt like that was the safer option, and then I'm going to go for the Lich here. I should have read up on what this Lich does. I've seen him used a couple times on people's Guild War defenses, and since he has that defense break, it's very strong against my team. Actually, maybe Delphoy would have been good here again. I'm not sure. I need to read up on that Lich though. So he did not die to my Bulldozer. I think he has some sort of damage reduction passive or something it looks like is going on. And I'm gonna go for stuns, you know, when it kind of gets down to this situation, I'm just hoping for stuns, and the Lich is procking his butt off. He just keeps going and going. So, yeah, and going and going. So I pretty much get stomped there, and that was pretty much completely my fault. But props to that guy for building that defense, and hopefully that Varad had a lot of defense on him, because that would have been like the cherry on top sort of, or the proper thing to do, I think. So I think I just made a huge mistake there, but single coppering might have worked actually. Especially if I can land the defense break on Varad, and I think that should have worked. Yeah, if I had Delphoy there. Let me know if you guys have any opinions down below, but I think Delphoy would have worked well. Okay, so for this team, I'm going to be resetting the ElegyX because of his heal. And the other two monsters I don't think have skills that really matter, like I don't need to reset them at all. Hopefully I reset ElegyX, yes I do. Okay, I think there was one instance where I didn't reset him and he healed or something like that, but yeah, I just need to constantly focus on my resets, and I think he procced a couple times there, so I knew his heal was coming back up and I wanted to reset it before it was back up, or reset it as soon as possible so he doesn't get it again. So I'm going to continue to focus him, continue to Harmless Prank, get as many debuffs on them as possible, as many stuns, and then the Harmless Prank will also boost my attack bar a little bit, which is going to help me get more turns. His heal gets baited out, but with no luck because he had the unrecoverable debuff on. My Ganymede's going to be removing his the Khmun shield a little bit, which is very nice. And then it looks like the ElegyX should die here. Hopefully he does. And I just have so much control over them, it's insane, and they are not able to work through it and get rid of those debuffs and heal up because it's just so much oppressive CC. Next monster I'm going to be going for is the Khmun, because Camilla's kind of hard to kill. Khmun is easier in this instance, even though I have wind monsters. My debuffs are going to stick to him. All I need to hope for is some lucky crits, and I should get those. Well, not really lucky, because I still have a pretty high chance to crit him, even though he's fire. So I'll be finishing him off, and then after that, it's just left down to Camilla, and then I'm gonna have to go through my rotation a little bit wisely here. I'm pretty much gonna be resetting Orion so he gets defense breaks. So right here, he's gonna defense break her, followed by Ritesh's damage, and then gonna go ahead and ventilate him again, and then we have another defense break, followed by Ritesh's damage. Let me take a drink of water because my throat is like the Sahara Desert right now. Alright, so I go for the AoE on her because it does more damage than his first skill. But I do like to keep the speed buff up on myself, and then whenever possible, I'm going to be resetting her attack bar, because every single turn she heals, and I don't want her doing that, because I just want her to be dead, so I'm going to reset her. And she should be dead here shortly. She kind of plays games, as you guys know. Camilla. Oh, Camilla. But it's all good. I'm gonna win this round. And then I think, do we just have one more? I can't remember. I've kind of lost track because I'm just thinking about what I'm talking about, so I totally lost track. Okay, so we got a draw there, and then let's see how things are going. I was actually kind of glad that I got a draw because I did hit that yellow tower there, but hopefully that helped my guild out some. I'm checking our swords, and I don't really know why I'm doing that. I think I'm checking to make sure that we're going to win this war, but I'm pretty sure we will. So it looks like this is going to be the last tower that I pick. I think it's a yellow, so I think I hit 332, and I think I won, draw, drew, and then we'll see what happens here. So, let's see. Looks like I'm going to be bruisering the second team. And my team is just so beefy. Theomars doesn't pose much of a threat to me, especially with my immunity. Theomars is going to have to go like 6 times, which I think is impossible for him to kill anything. So I think I should be very, very safe there. With immunity, Rakan's not going to be taunting at all. I'll be able to heal, and everything should be good there. And then for the first team, let's see, what am I thinking here? Do I pull out something weird? I don't quite remember. I think I'm thinking about my damage dealers. Who do I have left? Copper? Actually, I have Copper, but I don't want a Copper Bulldozer because if I do, I'm gonna kill a target first turn. Actually, I probably could have Copper Bulldozered if I kill the Magic Knight first with Copper. And then the Pioneer might move in between, and then I kill Sierra with Bulldozer if he can do enough damage. I think that should work out. But I actually get around it with a Lagmaron. So I kill Sierra, and then if we look at the other team, they just have 2 supports there. They do have a lot of control, don't get me wrong. The Pioneer can sleep, the Magic Knight just does a ton of stuff, and they both have heals. So they are threatening to out-sustain me with all those heals they have, but hopefully I can move in between. I don't have violence on my Lagmaron, but hopefully I can get some damage off here and they don't totally just out-sustain me and out-heal me. So it looks like I'm going for the Pioneer. I need to read up on this Magic Knight again because I think she's like cleansing stuff. Maybe she doesn't, maybe I'm just making that up, but I have a horrible memory. Like, remembering a bunch of like facts is one of my worst like traits. I was never good at that stuff, just remembering like a bunch of names and skills and stuff, but I make do. So thankfully I'm able to do enough damage to kill them both off, but it could have been risky there, and I definitely need to study up on my stuff, or at least pull up the monsters as I'm fighting them. I don't need to memorize it, but I can just have it up on my computer while I'm doing these fights to know what they do. So I continue to go for the Theomars right there. As you guys saw, I continued to hit him just to bait out that Eladriel's heal, and he did get baited and outsmarted. And then I go ahead and go for the AoE to get defense breaks and finish off the Theomars. He gets rezzed. Thankfully the Eladriel is not violent proccing, and I'm debating who do I go for? Do I go for Theo or Eladriel? Gonna go ahead and go for Eladriel here. And he's taunted, so he should be dead soon, but again, he could violent proc. But I think I have this match on lockdown, and let's see, yep, I do right now because the Eladriel's dead. And like I told you guys, actually, earlier I said that Theomars would have to proc like 6 times, which I think is impossible to kill something, but he took a good chunk of Orion's HP away, so it could happen just with 1 or 2 procs. I could be in a bad situation. Oh, yeah, there we go. So Orion gets murked, but I think I should be able to finish this out because Theomars is dead. It's a 2v1. I have immunity, so I'm not going to get taunted. I will be able to heal, and I should be good. So there we go, finishing off the Rakan there. And that was the final sword for the battle against NinjaMoves. And then that means that I am done for Guild Wars Rush. And then it's just up to my guildmates to finish off this remaining HP, and hopefully we don't get hit, and we didn't. I told you guys at the beginning, we finished Guardian 3, rank 18, so a lot of summoning stones to go around, which is very nice because I am hoping to get my 3rd Lushen and my 1st Khmun coming up here in 2 weeks? 3 weeks. It might be 3 weeks. Or 2 weeks, I don't know, but the summoning stone rotation coming up, I will have a video on that, and I might have some new Guild War defenses to show you guys once I get Khmun, so that'll be very exciting, and some new offenses, and my Lushen, guys. I might build a big damage Lushen to use with Bernard Konami Lushen in Guild Wars. So stay tuned, guys. I hope you enjoyed this rush. Congrats to everyone, good work, and Sof KingEpic. Shoutouts to all my guildmates. And yeah, I was gonna say love you guys, but that got kind of weird. Okay, so hope all my viewers enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys later.